Well, that's always fun. Always fun. Always fun. Gotta love the internet. Pay for high bandwidth, get nothing. Anyways, page 29, everybody. Page 29 in your book. Everybody get your book out. Page 29. It's a blank page. Add a recipe. Hand sprayer. Just a little pump sprayer done by hand. Hand sprayer. 50-50 apple cider vinegar. A teaspoon of cinnamon. A half a teaspoon of table salt. And a few drops of original Dawn dish soap. That's the recipe. You can put a marble down in there to help stir it when you're shaking it, what have you. Um, like a plastic marble or a glass marble, what have you. But the whole reason for this recipe is that it's a direct attack. Um, yes, yes. Pay attention. There's a test on this later. If you get any of it wrong, it's the ruler. So, uh, yeah, back to the school. So if you guys are watching this from the school, I'll gladly come to Ireland. I'll come help. I have a set number. You can reach me through the Green Wizard at hotmail.com and we can discuss this. But there's a certain number I have to sell to be able to come over and it's a financial thing. It's blah blah blah. And we can work out book price deals and something else later as to what you guys want to do. If any of you can reach Pecan Baby and share the information, it'd be awesome. I don't know why, Rusty. So yeah, page 29, everybody. Update yourselves. Get that information added to the book. There will be a test later. Teacher has a ruler. Little girl. Baby girl. Hey, it's me, Brian. What's going on, buddy? So yeah, I don't know who took that out of the book. I don't know where that information went. It was originally in there. The recipe was. I don't know why it's missing, but it's missing. So update page 29, everybody. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. The connection just dropped out and things got weird, so I just reset anyways. What would you like to ask about roses? This the conditions that roses grow in are directly affected by the food web, which is what this book is about. Understanding that roses require certain things and seem to prefer a certain type of soil content. No, I did not go into that, but understand, like every other plant out there, everything else that's green, whether it be roses, marigolds, tomato plants, trees, the 420 crowd. Everybody, please understand, it's all about the food web. If the food web's not happy, there's a problem. So if you want the best of the roses and you address the food web using this book and the solutions in this book, you are going to get incredible roses. Mine grow over my house and I don't do anything. The best fertilizer. You won't see, Lisa. That seems to be that seems to be an issue. People are misunderstanding. A healthy plant has no bugs because its automatic defenses are already there, and Mother Nature's bugs won't move in. If you have bugs all over your plants, there's a different issue. There's a different problem. There's a problem with the food web, and it needs to be addressed because your plant's not healthy. And that's what my book is about addressing the food web and getting the food web healthy. And that contributes to every plant on the planet growing better, tenfold better. Rusty's in the room, good friend of mine. Hey, Gemma. Rusty's in the room right now, a good friend of mine from across the street. And whether he types in or not, he's kind of nervous at that aspect of it. But he can tell you, I have got a rose plant bush mammoth creature living in my yard that is absolutely out of control, and I do nothing but address the food web with it. I don't water it. I don't care for it. I have to trim it back because it goes into somebody else's yard. It grows phenomenally well. And my soil conditions are the same throughout my entire yard. I do not have a specific area that is highly acidic that's going to make any of my berries grow any better or any of my roses grow any better or any of the all of that is a misnomer. All of that is I'd have to go back to find out when they got everybody believing this idea, lovely Lisa. That's not nature's way. Yes, you can make the soil more abundant for it, but you're hurting the food web. The higher the acidity, the less food web you have available. The same thing with compost issues. When you get the temperature too high, that acidity becomes toxic. It's a balance. It's a very close balance. Everybody, that's my neighbor Rusty. Please jump on him, help him out. He's just getting started with YouTube, but he can attest my rose bushes are absolutely out of control, and I don't do anything. Next door neighbor, right next door, 40 feet away, exactly 40 feet away. I can measure it. There's a rose bush that is struggling, very hardcore struggling. They have nursed it. They've done everything to it. They've put feed down for it. They've done everything, and that thing struggles while mine just explodes. It's growing over the house. It's an animal out of control, and I let nature do its thing. If you're looking for specific stuff to try and drive, you might want to look at chicken manure. Rabbit manure will help, but it's a soil condition, and it's getting that food web balanced, Lisa. If you can get that food web balanced, you don't have to chase anything with your roses. They will grow out of control like you will not believe. Oh, absolutely, especially if it's dyed. Oh God, no mulch. I can't preach that loud enough. No mulch. No dyed mulch. No mulch. You don't know what kind of wood that is. You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know how toxic it is. If they're adding dyes to make it pretty, that's directly affecting the food web and destroying everything around it. Absolutely not. Mulch, no. No, no, no. Absolutely not. If you don't make the mulch yourself and you don't know what kind of trees it is, absolutely not. Do not mulch in any way, shape, or form. Bad, 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 bad. Not to yell, but bad. No, David, no, they don't. If you're going for a specific strand to get a specific rose to go to a certain height, to be a certain this, certain that, horticulturalist style, that's one thing. You're right. There are very unique conditions that have to be monitored on a regular basis. But true roses in the wild require zero care. There's nobody out there throwing a chicken and raising the acids around that rose. It is a misnomer. It's incorrect. Nature doesn't work that way. Think about nature. Think how nature works. Think how nature does their things. Go find roses in the wild and look at those conditions. There's a rose in Europe. It's a very specific rose plant, whatever you want to call it. This thing is growing on the side of a castle, and it has been growing there, the same rose plant, for some 2,000 plus years on this castle. This thing is phenomenal, out of control, and it is not cared for. That old. And it comes back year after year, even though it has snow conditions, year after year, and it covers this building. Incredible rose. Nobody does anything. Now, granted, the rocks that the building is made out of could be having an effect on the soil. The terrain could be bleeding stuff in. Granted, there's all these conditions that could be happening, but it's 2,000 years it's been going on. So look at nature. Nature has the solutions. We just have to follow them. We have to look at them for what they actually are, and then duplicate that, and you will get the best results possible. Going in thinking that we have those solutions and we have the correct answers all the time is what has gotten our soil conditions where they are now, everybody. That's the situation we're in. Where was I at? What was I thinking? Page 29, right? Page 29. The weed killer, the spray weed killer. Why it's been eliminated in the book, I don't know. Please handwrite it into your books. Uh, Make sure that you add a note later on that you did add it to your book or what have you, because it's nice to get feedback. You know, it's great to do these videos and have people in the live chat. It's another thing when somebody else is coming by your channel, rewatching your videos, and letting you know, hey, idiot, I was here and I did what you said. Okay, thanks. Um, but yeah, Lisa, my book, my book will take your yard to places it's never been before, and it's an explanation as to things we've lost. It's knowledge we have, but that got misplaced. Yeah, I know, Rusty. I was looking at that this morning. What are we, 42, 43? Hold on. We're at 43 degrees outside, everybody, and my grass is growing. I've already had to cut it once, and I'm not doing anything. I haven't put anything down yet this year, and it's growing like crazy, and it's 43 outside. So, yeah, and the birds are already starting to invade my yard. That's how well this system works. You don't have to do anything. Let Mother Nature do it. You're just providing a little bit of extra here, a little bit of extra there. No. Yes, you can use pink Himalayan sea salt. If that's all you have available, then go right ahead. It's not it's not the sodium or the iodine. It's not any part of that. It just seems to have a burning effect, and the cinnamon seems to have a clutching effect. It seems to clog the pores of the weeds in the leaves. So you're hitting it with the surfactant, making it more susceptible to everything. The salt goes in and starts burning it at its core. Uh, the cinnamon goes in and clogs all of its pores. Apple cider vinegar just it's like it eats away at the flesh of the weed, and between all of them working together in harmony overnight, and sometimes less than 12 hours, it burns that weed at its core. Yeah, I mean, it's that time of year, and the best thing we can do is to just monitor it and stay ahead of it, because again, we're still dealing with the cold here. So I'm not recommending anybody in my zone um, be raking up the thatch yet, even though it's there and it needs to come up. If you're in the warmer climates, get your thatch up, get it out of there, get your thatch out, and then wash the yard. If you're just starting on the system, get your thatch out first, then wash your yard to help make things go, to help make things pop. Get that surfactancy level up on your grass. and everything else. But get that thatch out of there. Throw it away. We don't want this thatch. This is not the one we want to keep. We want to the spring thatch, the spring cleanup thatch we throw away. Get rid of. Do not compost it. It has too many chemicals in it. The stuff they spray, the jets going over, the this, the that, the cart. We don't want that in our compost. Throw the first thatch of spring away, everybody. But it's that time of year. We're getting there. We're not quite there yet in my grow zone in Cleveland, but it's almost that time. So it's time to start digging out the tools and start looking around to see what we have to do. What was there was something else I wanted to mention. Oh, hey, yeah, just so those that are still on the fence, that have looked at the book, that have looked on Amazon, have gone to their local Barnes and Noble and said, "Why don't you have this book?" Uh, um, I did a podcast, and in those 3 hours, and I know that's a lot to listen to, but it's not a video, so there's nothing to watch. You can just listen to it on your phone. You can leave it play in the background. Some people leave my stuff going and fall asleep to it at night. I understand. Um, Calming voice, face for radio, whatever you want to call it. Uh, I did a podcast about the book and about everything related to the book and what all is truly affected. If you're still on the fence about the book, please go listen to the podcast. I'll make sure that the link gets posted. I don't know if any of you have it available to you right now so that you can post it for me. Um, there's the podcast. There's the shortcut link. You don't need to log in. You don't need to become a member. You don't need to do anything. These people have got it going on. They understand what's going on. The delusion solution, because we are all in a delusion to think that our government is taking care of us and doing things for us. I'm assuming that's why the name of the podcast. But it's 3 hours of me and the host and her co-host interviewing me about the book, about our situation, both with their information and my information, as to what the need for the book actually is. Because even though I talk about, hey, we need to fix this, we need to fix that, we need to address this, we need to address that, I really politically cannot say a lot of things that are going on that this book addresses. Yeah, Bobby, I know. I see my hand. Um, you just drink your coffee and try and read the book for the first time, cover to cover, and you'll be great. You'll be fine. Um, Grizz, start at page 100 and yeah, just start at page 100 and start reading, and eventually you'll get through it. But yeah, if you're on the fence about this book and you don't truly understand what's going on, everybody, and you're not sure of the need to spend this $15 to bring your knowledge up, understand this is old knowledge. This is from many, 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 many hundreds of years ago. The Indians trying to help the settlers. The Indians knew this and have known this for many, many years. Many, many, many years. Many generations have passed this information down, and we forgot it. We forgot it. There's a need for this. You need to understand there's more to this book than a pretty cover that looks great on a bookshelf. There's a lot of information here. I go a whole lot further than just the food web. And all of this applies to anything that grows, anything that's green. If you're growing it or you want to grow it, you need to understand this aspect of our planet and how Mother Nature built the system and how it works and how everything relies on everything and how we as man can step in and give Mother Nature a helping hand. Once we cross that threshold of knowing this stuff or being reminded of this stuff, our gardens and our yards explode back to life. The same year, the same season, within weeks of throwing out the chemicals, you can see incredible results. Now, yes, if you're going to be having a family party, and yes, you're going to be hosting a bunch of people in your yard, and you're wise to this stuff, yes, you should probably jump on your yard and push things forward a little bit early. Hey, it's me, Brian. And you should push things forward a little bit early and get your yard ready to stabilize. Get your yard ready for the onslaught of people running on it, playing on it, sitting in chairs, sitting in lawn chairs, spilling their beer, doing whatever they're going to do. Um, I don't normally say go get liquid iron, but in this situation, under hardcore assault by a lot of people, go get iron. Mix it in your hose end sprayer. About a I'd follow the directions depending on how much your yard is and how large it is. I would spray it down 3 days earlier, 3 days prior. I would use a little bit of sugar from Deer Grade molasses. I would use the iron as prescribed, and I would add a little bit of surfactant soap to that, just Dawn dish soap, and soak the yard down 3 days prior. Stale beer. Let's make sure we correct that. Stale, dead, flat, old beer. I was going to go into that. Yes, beer is good for the soil, but it can't have its alcohol level. That wipes out the food web. But the hops in the beer, on the other hand, the food web absolutely loves. So you can get your yard drunk on stale beer. So if you're going to have a party this year, and you're not a keg person, but you're a beer bottle and beer can, save every bit of that other beer, the leftover beer in the beer cans. Gain every drop of it you can and put it in a sprinkler. Put it on your flowers. Put it in a hose end sprayer and spray your yard in beer. Rusty will tell you I do it every year. My yard explodes every time I do it. Just loves the beer mix. Now, him and I have talked about some other things that we could potentially try, but they're still in talk. We've never actually done it. But yes, the stale beer from the party the night before. Go around, gather up all that beer, pour it in a bucket, let it go flat, let it go dead, ruined, destroyed, that you wouldn't even consider drinking it. Now, I know there's some people like Jerry that would probably drink it anyhow, irregardless of that situation. Beer, stale, dead beer, absolutely incredible for your yard. It absolutely cranks up the green levels and the food web goes crazy. Beer's a good thing, but it's got to be stale. So throw a party, have a great time, barbecue, do your thing. The next morning for cleanup, gather all that beer in a bucket. It's incredible stuff. And wow, does your yard and the food web love it. Good on compost piles, too, by the way. But I didn't say that. Absolutely. Absolutely, David. Absolutely. Another one of those tricks that should probably be in one of the pages in the book. But, how do you tell people go get your yard drunk? Are they going to understand that? Exactly. Exactly. If you've got a slug problem, especially those people that are into hot peppers, if you have a slug problem because somebody brought in some bad mulch and somebody did this or somebody did that, and it's a little too close, and there's other issues, just a little tin pan, a little, not even cookie sheet, not a little pie tin, not a big one, just a little one, 6 inches across maybe. Put beer in that sucker. Push that thing down in your soil so it's level with the soil so the slugs can get in there. Bye bye slugs. Bye bye problem. because they love peppers. They go bonkers over peppers. You want to protect your peppers? There you go. A little bit of beer in a pan, leave it overnight. You'll see the next morning. No more slug problem because they come in contact with that beer, even though they love the smell, they come in contact with it, instantly dead. It dehydrates the living daylights out of them, and they're done for. I don't care how bad your slug problem is. A little tin pan and some beer, bye bye. I know that's a waste of beer. Get the cheap stuff. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. The alcohol just does its thing overnight. Wow, what a difference. So, pepper growers, keep that in mind. Beer is your friend and can help when the slugs move in or try to move in. So, unless you guys have something else, I'm going to dismiss the class. Again, page 29, there will be a test on it. Just pencil it in, everybody. 50-50 apple cider vinegar to water. Teaspoon, small one, the little bitty measurement. Teaspoon of cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of table salt, any kind, doesn't matter. Toss a marble in there. Add a couple of drops of original Dawn dish soap, not the antibacterial. Bacteria is our friend in our yard and in the food web. So it's got to be the original. Put that in your hand sprayer. Squirt, 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 and attack your weeds. Bye-bye weeds. If that's the issue you're dealing with, and you're dealing with large leaf, like your crabgrasses and some of your other ones, some of your dandelions and what have you, don't worry about the flower itself. Get it on the leaves and watch it burn overnight. It will go away, and it doesn't hurt the soil. It just takes out the plant. And I'm not exactly sure how. I'm not a scientist, but somehow it follows that root and it goes deep. And I have watched it take out all sorts of dandelions. And it follows the root right on down and wipes it out. You don't even need to pull it afterwards. You can run it over with a lawnmower and it's gone. So it's not something you have to go out, pump it down, go out the next day, dig it out, because of the root issue. No, this stuff soaks in, goes right down into the root and destroys it. It does a phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. Great, great, great product. I don't know who came up with it. It's an old wives' tale misnomer, what have you, but it works very, very well. So pencil that in on page 29, everybody. Just add that to the book. Why it got eliminated, I don't know. That's the recipe. So class dismissed for today's update, and keep sending them questions in. Keep triggering my memory, and I'll be back with some more updates. We'll see you guys all later. We'll see you around the stream. Thank you so much for coming, everybody.